Hey, it's Greg Sestero from The Room, and you are listening to Cinema Psycho Show.
Oh, goody, goody, here it comes.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show.
You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Oh my God, don't stop now!
With your hosts, Brian, John, and Elaine.
How we doing in here? There we go. Now we're talking.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Coddington, joined by my fellow co-hosts and filmmakers, John and Elaine Wolfscroft.
Brian.
Also, Travis in the house.
And Travis is in the house.
Yeah. No, we're live. Okay.
We are doing this
We
live.
need to bring this a little more. We need to give a little more umph.
Okay.
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the show that never ends. It is the Cinema Psycho Show with your hosts, Brian Coddington, John and Elaine Woolscroft, and special guest Travis Ayers. And we are live here at Row House Cinema. Once again, how we doing in here?
Yes, this is a very special episode. We're introducing Video Valley, number 3, right?
Yes, sir.
Number 3. And Travey Valley, is that what you go by?
Yeah, just tonight.
Just tonight? Just tonight? So, should I call you Travey or Travis?
Let's stick with Travey tonight.
Okay, Travey. So, what delectable, morsel from VHS land do we have to watch tonight?
So tonight we're gonna watch the classic Miami Connection.
Yeah!
Right? Are you guys so excited? Woo!
Is this why I have a letter from my father?
That is a letter. That is a letter from
exactly
your father.
why.
Is that a letter from your father?
Oh my God!
Now let me ask a question. Is it from the government? Is there a picture?
Oh, no, apparently my father is in the Cannonsburg Cemetery.
Oh.
That was dark, yeah.
That was dark, like the original ending of this movie.
Of this movie. And by the way, there's nothing written on here. It's all a lie. It's not even...
Oh, why? So, this movie, I would say, is the perfect example of so bad it is good. And it's a recent example of so bad it's good. Belonging in the echelons of The Room, Troll 2, and such fame.
Well, there's something kind of special about this film because you can tell that there was a lot of love put into this, and like, not every bad movie comes from good people, you know.
I'm looking at you, Asylum,
Yeah.
Sharknado, 5, 6,
When you
7,
know
and
it's
8.
bad, it's just not good anymore.
But this film might not have
Birdemic.
succeeded, but you can tell they put their heart and soul into this, and they all meant very well.
It's
They
more,
just didn't quite get there.
it's more about the crushing failure of humanity that makes it the
Now-
most successful of bad movies to me. I have to know that your dream died or I can't enjoy it.
Well, let me ask you guys this, and we'll go around.
Yeah.
How did each one of you encounter Miami Connection? I think that's the best word for it is encounter. You know,
John, you should
like a
start.
stalker in the night.
I think it was just by looking at weird shit on YouTube, it recommended the trailer for this film. And I was like, what? That looks like the greatest movie of all time. A rock band fighting coke-stealing ninjas.
Bikers.
Oh, yeah. And gang members. Like
Bikers
this-
and floppy titties and ass.
It was like the 80s just came together into one gigantic ball and shot onto a movie screen.
Yep.
You know, it even has Rick Rude in it. You know, I'm pretty sure. That guy with the mustache. Yeah.
Or
The
Oates.
ravishing
He
Rick
could be
Rude.
Oates before Hall.
Yeah. For
Not
the
wrong.
non-wrestling
He's
fans
not
in the
wrong.
room.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I just stumbled upon it and I was like, this is cinematic gold. It's majestic.
It's true. So, to me.
Hall. Yes, Lane.
So, John and I are married and not brother and sister. People have made that mistake before, and
It's
shit's
true.
gotten
It's
weird
true.
quick. Married, not.
But hey, if that's your thing.
But I mean, whatever makes you download our
there
show.
is kind of a Freudian thing in this movie between the brother and the sister.
It's disgusting. So anyway, I'm married to this guy, and we were at at his 30th birthday party when a friend of ours just like very subtly, very smoothly just handed him a zip drive, and I was like, oh. What? What's happening? And
Not porn.
It had this movie on it. It had a bunch of bad movies on it, and that was my first introduction. But when I watched it, I realized I had seen, I think it was the father clip before, and I think that's also the hallmark of a good B movie. If you've seen some horrible part of it without any context, and you see it later, and you're like, "Oh, it's from this movie." So just like an illicit zip drive was where it all started. It was my love for this movie.
Well, let me just check real quick. Who has not seen Miami Connection?
Oh, excited! Oh, you guys are
in for a treat.
Oh, you guys are gonna cry.
If you like The Room, Birdemic, Troll 2, anything along those lines, you're gonna love it.
If you hate
Samurai
joy.
Cop, yeah.
And quality.
Mr. Travey, how did you encounter this delicious film?
So I actually had no clue about this movie. I was in film school. I went to George Romero's film school with my good friend Maddie Deering back in the back. Can barely see back there, but Maddie's back there. So we were talking one day, and my teacher in film school actually produced Surf Nazis Must Die. And
Classic film.
We were talking about how much we
Criterion
loved
Collection.
the score to the movie, and sure enough, he's like, our sound teacher, John McCallan, did the score to it. And we're like, holy shit. So immediately we go to IMDb, we look up all of his credits, and right after the movie Scalps, John actually scored the film Miami Connection. So my sound teacher in film school actually did the score for this movie, and that's kind of how I got introduced to Miami Connection, and I've been in love with it ever since.
Now,
For
just
me-
to be clear, it's the score of the
Yeah.
film and not the sick beats like
Not the
Against
sick
the
beats.
Ninja.
So much
And
music.
Friends for Eternity.
Not that. No,
So
no
good.
Friends for Eternity, just the score.
Yeah, for me, it was your fault because you told me about this movie about a month ago, and I was like,
Right, how have you not seen this movie
I can't believe
before
you haven't
this?
seen
I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I
I've
don't know.
suffered through this movie at least 3 times.
Yeah. Travis, you told me about it, and I was like French Connection, and I was so wrong.
In the same vein.
No, and I mean the best thing to describe this movie is how many of you guys or ladies out there play with action figures as a kid? Yeah. Okay, imagine you're 12 years old and your body's changing, and you just try to imagine the most awesome thing being an adult. So you're going to be a rock star. You're going to fight. You're going to know karate or taekwondo, as it said here. You're also going to battle bikers and ninjas. And you might be growing down the beach, and there might be butts and boobs. That's basically this movie is 12-year-old version of playing action figures.
Or like if you're really mad at your parents.
Or if you're really mad at your
I'm going to be
parents.
so famous, and I'm going to be a karate master. I'm going to do whatever I want, Mom and Dad.
I'm going to
Yes.
make out in the ocean. Yeah.
There's going to be butts everywhere.
If you haven't seen this movie, no, most bad films don't have a plot, but this one has 20.
This one tries.
And they don't end. They just go nowhere. It's like by about 20 minutes in the movie, you're like, I think there's about 10 plots. I don't know how they're going to resolve all these. They just don't.
Now,
It's
Lane,
convenient, actually.
Lane, this movie is the brainchild of one man.
It is, my dudes. Let's talk about the history.
Let's talk about the history. Who is the
auteur here?
Who's the auteur of this film?
So, that depends on who you ask, because he changed his name to Richard Park.
Yes, Richard Park is the
So-
director, but he's not really the director.
He's the director, and actually he's a gentleman. He actually had passed away in like 2006, but he's credited as the director in this. And then is it
YK Kim,
yeah.
Grandmaster.
Okay. So
Grandmaster
he's-
YK Kim.
So he's a grandmaster at he has a very successful line of dojos in Florida, and now he's really it's Orlando that he's really popular in, and that's where the film was actually shot, not Miami.
No.
Lies from the beginning. But he has
Hey,
a series-
Orlando Connection
Hey.
really sucks as a
and
title.
guys,
It does.
and guys, he's like the guy. So Richard Park started the film, and he was doing it with YK, and YK wasn't happy with the way that some of it was shot, so he ended up redoing it. But YK Kim, he spent $1 million on this film. $1 million
And he
on
lost
this
it
film.
all.
Lost every
He
dime.
borrowed money from friends. He called in every dirty favor he could. He remortgaged both his house and his dojo for this. So like he was all in, and that's why it's so delicious because it's so terrible.
Well, when it came out, the movie played in some theaters in Orlando for about 2 weeks,
2 weeks,
two
it
or
was
3
pulled.
weeks,
Yeah,
and
three-
then
I
it
think it was
just
3.
plummeted off the earth.
Well, yeah,
after
because all for most of these films, like when this stuff happens, you really want distribution, and he was so sure that it would be distributed appropriately, but it was only purchased for $100,000, so he lost like sick bucks on this production.
Well, it's interesting how the rediscovery of this film happened.
Yeah, and I think that is interesting too. So Alamo
Draft House, yes.
They found a print, not like a DVD or VHS, or anything. They found an actual print on eBay for like $50, and they bid on it. And
Well, I
they
think
were
it was a blind purchase too. I don't think they knew.
Oh yeah,
it
they
was
had no
Miami
idea
Connection.
what it was, and when
Yeah.
they saw what it was, and they
Do you
found
want to
out
buy
that-
a movie?
Yeah, and saw what the people were, so when they went to reach out to YK Kim, he was so jaded by life and by this movie, he thought he was being made fun of, and he wouldn't answer their calls for like the longest time because he thought they were just like shitting on him.
The man literally called the experience of this movie a nightmare.
And they
In interviews, he said it was a nightmare.
They really wanted to purchase the film, so Alamo Draft House got it, and that's how we pretty much have access to it now today because they kind of resurged, the interest in it and whatnot, and kind of brought it back to the forefront as it should be.
Very much.
And
You sound so tired. You are so young right now.
Oh, friend,
It's so
you are in for such a treat.
Well,
you just can't hide it. No, and that's all I can do before
Well,
we
we
get
always
sued.
talk about this. We always
Yeah.
talk about, when a film is terrible or if a film is worth it. And I think that this film is so completely worth it. But I'd like you all to look out for certain failures.
Yes.
Like
What
John
failures
said,
can we look out for?
Some of the plot points don't go anywhere, and nothing, and like certain
All of
things
them.
don't pay off. But I would also like you guys to look at the acting. This is a great example of like an auteur that has absolutely no end vision, and in the scenes you can tell that the actors weren't really, a lot of them weren't really actors.
Well,
and
they were his students.
they were his students, from the dojo, and so everybody. There's some badass taekwondo in this, guys.
Yeah. Well, and Lane,
good taekwondo.
Real quick, like when there's a movie like Catwoman with Halle Berry, there's no excuse for that movie being bad. They had a studio backing, millions of dollars. They could have made it right. This film, it was by a guy who has never directed before.
You read a book on it, John. God damn.
He read one book on it and then just decided to start shooting. It was mostly his students, and he was borrowing money the whole time. So it is fun to make fun of this movie, but at the same time, it's by independent people that didn't know what they were doing with no money.
And who ended up really not doing much of anything else. All of them have different
Nobody in this
careers.
movie really did anything.
I
after
mentioned
this.
YK Kim as a motivational speaker, right?
He's
favorite
the
thing.
Korean Tony Robbins.
It's-
Okay, I'm not even joking. If we looked at this before we started the show, there is a YouTube video.
You guys
It's
have to
4
search
minutes.
for it. It's
It's his intro for his motivational speaking series.
It's so good.
It is amazing.
It's from
amazing.
like last year, and it looks like it was made in '84.
And he is now so proud
incredible.
of Miami Connection, it's ridiculous.
Well, the thing is, he is a master of motivational speaking. He is a master of Taekwondo. Something he is not the master of, the English language.
Hey, whoa!
Which you will
Are we
discover
going
that
there?
very-
Are we going there?
Well, there'll be a few times you'll be like, wait, what did he say?
Watch out for
Yeah.
Orpins.
Orpins, yeah.
Orpins.
We're just gonna say that some of the acting is bad.
Don't
That's all
bottle
I'm
me.
gonna- that's
Don't
all
bottle me.
That's
and,
all I'm gonna say. Is some of the acting is bad.
Yeah.
There's
like-
if,
John-
if you're not aware, there's something called ADR, which is when you loop the audio in post-production, and that is about 80% of the dialogue in this film, and it's done very poorly.
And they didn't even try to make it sound like it's in the real environment. They didn't make any like other noises. Like it sounds like when someone's talking outside, it sounds like they're in a closed room.
Yes.
Yeah.
It feels wrong. It feels so wrong. But
Another
so
thing to
right.
watch out for is some very impressive, when I mean impressive, not impressive at all,
impressive.
gore and special effects. I mean,
it's so
man,
good.
It's Halloween store
bloodthirsty
quality.
murder.
A lot of murder.
Salted
But
murder.
they're peaceful.
Salty murder.
But they're peaceful. You guys ready?
Be ready. There is a blood money shot in this movie. There is a man who gets blood on his face, and he is into it.
Yeah.
All right, my dude.
So final points on Miami Connection before we get going, just around the table.
Anything from you, Trav?
Support hot dogs. Support Narragansett. Support Row House Cinema. Support,
Definitely Sport Row House.
Always.
Support Video Valley. And yeah, support movies like Troll 2 and The Room and Birdemic, because 90% of the time those filmmakers and actors care more about the movie business than people like fucking like Kevin Bacon or something like that. So
Suck it, Kevin
Footloose
Bacon.
motherfucker.
yeah, support something.
Right. So, for you guys, any other comments?
Well, just also, it's a fun game to play while watching this. Try to count actual scenes of story progression outside of fight scenes, scene establishing shots, and musical numbers.
There's so many establishing
There's
shots,
only about
you guys.
8 minutes
It's
of
amazing.
actual story in this film, and there's 20 of them in
But
8 minutes.
It's pure
So,
gold when you get there.
Your goal.
Like I said, you always have to wonder if it's bad because it's bad or if it's good because it's bad. This one, I think it's one of the more mainstream ones. I feel like people know more about it, and I really think it's always worth a watch. So you guys are in for quite a treat, especially
Awesome.
for you who haven't seen it.
Awesome.
Happy for you.
Just to wrap up, John, where can they find you on the Twitter machine?
At the Unreal J Wolves, JWOOLS.
Lane?
You can find me at LA_Croft on Twitter.
Instagram Travis_Ayers AYERS.
You can find me at Brian Carter on Twitter. Also on the Psycho Show page. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google Plus at Psycho Show. You can also find us on the Epicast Network at epicastnetwork.com. If you guys all have a question or a movie you'd like us to review, you can contact us at cinemapsychoshow.com. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and iTunes. And catch our new episodes available every Sunday. And let's roll with Miami Connection.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Enjoy the show.
Epicast.